Alright, living boys, this is what high elo Briar looks like. A lot of people wonder what it looks like to play in GM or Challenger lobbies as Briar, because they often are of the opinion that she just can't do it, and hopefully we can lay some of that to rest. But the most important thing about your early clear is just knowing where you're going. So something like Azir versus Set, it's like a flipped coin on if you play for range top or not. The idea is that range top will always win on paper, and especially in high elo, it's like usually pretty real to assume that matchup knowledge will be more static, I guess. The idea is that like range top will definitely just poke him out and start getting small leads and turn that into a big lead by itself if unimpacted. But the problem with that is it's very easy to interact with range top's game plan, because most of the time they're not very tanky or lack CC. So if enemy jungler, which now we have a ward on the Raptors so we know that they're not, if enemy jungler went to path 2 top lane, this could be pretty bad, and that would likely force me to hover it and try and make sure that my range top can always just do the poke and walk away thing. Now luckily, we don't have to deal with that this game. We're against a Vi. That is not the real one, of course. A lot of people forget that like if Nico is standing as Vi, we get a double check on their red buff, right? So like we know Vi did red buff because we saw her with it, and then Nico was her champion. So if I ever did forget or not see her on those Raptors, I could reinforce someone, which is awesome. Either way, we are pathing towards bot lane because we have Rel. Obviously, as jungle, pathing towards a CC lane will never, ever do you wrong. They reacted practically immediately on that ward there. We know that they're going to likely zone us because their mid laner just pivoted down. We know that their Vi is also bot side, and their support just walked. So once they got that ward, obviously we just have to leave, and a lot of high elo jungling is just not making the mistake. It's less how many good plays I make, it's just how many mistakes I don't make. Because, you know, again, something like this is inherent from draft. I have an advantage on my team. This is, you know, mage versus mage kind of thing, scaling idea, so neither one of them should really be hard snowballing past the other. And bot lanes are doing their thing. They have artillery, they're trying to shoot us from far, and we're trying to all in. And that's one of the cooler things about Briar, again, is that, like, she already is the champ that needs to always, oh, we got a gank right here, always have an idea of what's going on in the lobby. Try and stun him. We can eat that W like it's nothing. He can't do anything. Now, my top laner looks like he's trying to hard push this wave. I'm going to give him the experience solo. We're going to ping that Vi is on her Krugs, because she should be, right? We both started topside. If I'm on my Gromp, she should be on Krugs. So we hit the Scryer to cover my boy there. Let him get that wave in. But yeah, it's very important to just not make mistakes. I would say that's more important in high elo than low elo, because, you know, low elo people won't always punish you for those mistakes. But had I, let's say, gone for bot crab, I would have immediately died. They would have had 4 people right there. They would have destroyed me. But as you start in your ranked grind trying to reduce your mistakes in general, you'll realize that deaths are the most important thing to climbing. Like, flat out. Flat out. It's not even close. If you're alive and you just have to leave a team fight, it is what it is. That's completely lost. 3 people die off the jump, and you live and you go farm. That is way better than dying for the cause to get 1. Like, if you a 3 for 0, but you're alive, is better than a 4 for 1, where you traded 1 for 1 at the end of it. It's not even close. Because farm and time alive and experience and just things that you can get done on the map, I mean, way more important. Now, enemy team did just use all their spells, so they shouldn't step up here. Let's see what we can get going. We got Jhin, Flash, heal. Try and put her into the wall. Good little target selection. You like that switch up? Oh, my boy. I mean, we definitely play this. I'm going to make sure I W towards the Jhin, and if I do end up hitting Vi, I want the AoE of the W to hit her. He won't do it. No way on earth. Oh, it's not wall. I can kill. Immediate Q. If I get turret aggro, just flash, but I don't need to. We see Ahri is now off map, so we're going to run very safe away from that. So as you can see, she's in there now. That's exactly what we're doing. Now, me not going to river obviously gives her less time, because me getting to my turret is the time bomb here. Interesting. I don't think she had 22 more damage, but it's definitely worth it to just waste her time. She gets nothing. It's really good. My boy's hitting plates. And you'll notice that in high elo, a lot of people will have been in this situation to know what is actually trolling and not. So one thing that is trolling is like if this Vladimir were to have chased Ahri down, right? Like once he realized he's late, he just has to make the best of that situation. And there's also a ball in our court where we have to try and cut any extra losses, right? And it's very important to be able to do that in your ranked round, especially the higher elo that you go. You know, when you're lower elo, you might not realize it, but people aren't cheating. Like, it's not, you know, you're not playing Rainbow Six Siege where you have a cheater likely in every lobby, right? This game, people can't just decide to be somewhere and then make it happen. Set can't be top lane right now and then Dragon in 5 seconds, right? He would have to right click, walk down, go over all of our wards and whatever else our vision and our minions. So a lot of times you as the high elo player also have to understand that other people around you can't just TP in, right? So if I make a decision to start Dragon at a certain timer, it's under the understanding of how long it would take my team to get there and the implications provided on their role or specific spot that they're in. So if I start a Dragon right now, for example, right? Sure, I would have my Rel with me, but my AD carry is getting pushed in. He would be subject to a little bit of damage walking through Tribush, or maybe he has to W over the wall to get to the Dragon, and that would lead him into the fight without it, right? My top laner doesn't have TP. There's 0% chance he'd show up. And once you can kind of come to terms with the game like that, it becomes a lot less stressful, you know, with you just taking an opinion on, hey, this guy might not go because his wave is pushing, and I need to accept that. And that's most of the reality of high elo, is just, you know, not just doing the, why is he there, and just, you know, understanding why he's there. Hey, there's farm there. Like, hey, I'm not starting Dragon there. You know, why am I not doing that? Well, because I just want to run up, play for grubs, and play for my Azir. It seems like this is a bit of an overforce for me to try and play for that pink ward, given that they were literally set up ready to kill me. And because I predicted that, now we can just go hit grubs for free. Again, my top laner's tearing it up. And now, maybe, like, we can talk about better player, whatnot, maybe set could have this or that. The reality is that range top versus melee should always get an advantage, implying an even circumstance, right? I'll take half damage. Health matters a lot more to laners, so please feel free to do that. You could ult to land that, but obviously look at where your lanes are at, right? That's not plausible. If my Gromp is up, Vi's Krug should be up. She might go for the crab. No, she's not. Oh, she did cancel. Let's go and ping them off, right? They need to understand that I'm going here, and that any time that they waste of hers is good. Right? Now that's Nico, right? Because you can hit tab, and you can see that Nico's icon's lit up and Vi's isn't. So that Vi that we saw wasn't the real one. And yeah, that's where, like, the fun of high elo jungling comes from. Like, low elo jungling is very fun because, like, you are truly the X factor. You get to, you know, run around the map, TDM, destroy everyone in the lobby. And high elo jungling is, like, a really cool, like, if they do that, I will do this all the time. And you're simply just, like, going with the default game plan of, you know, I farm my camps, I take ganks that are good based off wave states. And if enemy jungler does any of these 30,000 mistakes that I've already made, then I punish him in these ways, right? So him not immediately recalling means that I get a Krug camp. And in fact, him going Dragon when I went for grubs means that I have the faster neutral, right? So I, in fact, always have at least like a 1 camp invade there. Now his team can circumvent that by maybe having him bot prio into, you know, them slamming that neutral objective for him, but looks like she's trying to cheese a gank here, assuming that I got her top side. It's an interesting thought. Yeah, she's really trying to play hard for bot side here. Oh my god, you see how fast people make these mistakes, man? Juke to the left, hopefully. Nope. That's good. This is fine. They run out of damage really hard here. They run out of damage so fast, at least versus me. Now, Rel may not be the same. Is it worth it? Ari's coming, but I can try. Nice. I don't know what Nico's plan was there. But yeah, that's the coolest thing is like, you know, the route I always try and tell people to go when they're like, hey, you know, I'm trying to climb, what should I do? And it's like, you should really try and master what each elo is trying to teach you, right? You know, your first day on the job, right? You got to learn a lot of basic stuff for anyone that has a job, I guess. That's none of you. I'm kidding. Yeah, your first day on the job, right? You got to do all your paperwork and your like training videos that you're probably not watching. The reality is that's what bronze is, right? Like you're probably not watching your lanes or doing anything like that or care about farm or hitting tab, right? You're just playing the game, and that's fine. But as you start trying to climb a little bit harder, you have to really understand that each rank is simply just teaching you something different. And as long as you're willing to learn those things, and you're unstoppable. So like, you know, to me, Iron through Emerald is actually just teaching you how to, at a baseline, play your champion and also play your role. And as you start getting to Diamond, there will be the implication that you can do both of those things to a certain degree, while also counterplaying what enemy team wants to do. Understanding what enemy team wants to do and how you can actually impact their game plan. Again, that's Nico because that question mark is still there over Vi's icon when we see the Nico Vi here. So obviously that is real Vi. My boy's in such a rough spot here. Try and get both of these wards with this. Auto Titanic. Auto. Sweep this for Vlad too. Now it looks like no way they shoot R. No way by R, sir. 0%. Wow. Oh, Ari's here too. My bad. I mean, it's still not good for them. Level up your R so you get the extra cooldown and damage. Oh! She has one more dash. Unfortunately, I'm Briar. Oh, and flash. That's cool. Check out what my boy's up to. Get off of him. Leave the wave for my boy. I can actually go do this dragon, probably. But yeah, so, you know, that's the idea is that, like, you know, each rank is all about, you know, or rather, oh, there you go. The lower ranks are all about you playing your champ and, you know, you playing your role. But then the idea moves to when you start getting higher low, it's like, hey, if they make this mistake, I do these things to get the most out of it. Or, you know, their game plan was to get a fed bot lane, and where were they weak on the map because of that? And that's it. This is a pretty short game, unfortunately, but, I mean, to be honest, it fell in line with everything we wanted to do. Right, so for example, these two played really well, even my Rel. So, you know, what rank is this game? This game is 782 LP, right? So these are, you know, clearly Challenger and GM players. And you can see it's not like, you know, Hilo doesn't always look like this, of course, because as people go higher in rank, they care less because what if they've peaked and now I don't care anymore, or whatever their case may be. But you can see the game starts making sense, but it shifts. And, you know, someone that's been in more situations than me can often get me to mess up, right? If he, you know, let's say someone does, let's say, for example, I'll just make up a situation. He goes, red, Krugs, Raptors, Wolves, blue, and then invades my Krugs. And that would be like really weird and maybe inefficient in that moment in my head. But it depends on how I respond to it and where else I mess up in that circumstance. And that's where like experience can end up mattering. Is once everyone can play their champ in their role to a pretty decent degree, then you guys get to start doing these cooler things like putting them in a weird situation and beating them because of it. So, hopefully this was a cool video for you. I'm not gonna lie. Shorter uploads aren't the worst thing. This is a really good game, and it really just comes down to show like if this Vi path top lane like I said she should have maybe in top at the beginning of the match, how would this game be different? Sure, maybe I'm ganking their bot lane. Maybe their bot lane plays weak side super well. This guy starts losing, Set gets a good mid roam, and now this guy isn't doing as well. Ari starts pushing him in, and you can see that, I can't justifiably claim that those things would happen, but I can say that, what she did this game might not have been, the correct option to me. I think, playing to just destroy range top one time, one kill is usually all it takes a bruiser like Set to just run the matchup. So yeah, there you go. I hope you enjoy this look into what high elo Briar looks like. That didn't really, the thing is like the Briar part of it was just, I just do my job, right? I take an even fight, I focus the right target, and yeah, people are always like, oh, you can't choose who you're hitting. I'm like, I literally do. I didn't hit a single wrong target that whole fight. I was aware that the possibility it could happen, but I didn't hit a wrong target. Did you see me hit a wrong target? I even, when I went for that, the third bush on bot lane, I made sure that my W hit Jhin while also damaging Vi, and even if I hit Vi, I would still have killed the Jhin. So this champ is awesome. People don't get it, but that's okay. Hopefully you guys enjoy this. I'm still on vacation, I assume. I'm actually going on vacation today, but I'm setting you guys up with some good uploads. So you guys have a good one. Thank you so much. Peace.